to bring that variety. And also I try to read things that have nothing to do with day-to-day politics. And so I'm just at the moment reading John Lewis Stemple's book about natural history of England. Have you read it?
No.
It's worth a read. It's beautifully written. I think if he and I sat down together, we'd probably have quite a few political differences. But his ability to describe the natural world and the effects of the rest of the world on the natural world in the natural history of this country are fascinating. He said it must have been terrible when they cut down all the trees which created the North Yorkshire moors. But in return, we got the buzzards and we got the wildlife we've got. And he just explains how everything is a product of something else. I've just about finished reading it now. It's a fascinating book. And I bought that on an impulse because I was in Bristol. I was going from one place to another and people said, come and have a quick dinner with us in this restaurant across the road. And I was a bit fed up. We'd been rushing around all day. And I said, I'll catch you up. And I just went into this bookshop.
Are you easy with your children?
Oh, yeah.
How many do you
love
have?
my kids. I've got 3 kids. I'm very close to all 3 of them. One's a football coach. One used to work with John McDonnell on economic stuff, and he's a good economist. And the youngest one runs a shop called the National Hemp Service where he sells CBD products.
Hey.
And they all are very close to all 3 of
And
it.
you're not awkward with them?
No, I love them dearly.
And yet you've...
Well, they're in touch with me all the time.
You're such an interesting phenomenon because you've ended up having been a Labour Party member all your life. You're now... You're an independent member of Parliament. You have your own new party. Your party?
Yeah, your
party. Yay.
It's your party.
It's your party. It's your party.
It's your party, and you'll cry if you want to.
Yeah,
you get it?
Great.
You love that song?
Well, I brought my grandson here today, and he may well be joining your party if it isn't too expensive.
No, it's very cheap. Very cheap.
Very cheap.
We'll give him a good rate.
How's that going? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been very complicated, certainly. I'm very complicated getting it going.
But yes,
I am, because we're bringing in a lot of people who are not all ex-Labour. Some are ex-nothing, some are ex-lots of things. And so there isn't a political culture or tradition, because in political parties, you know this from your time as a Conservative, and in the Labour Party, there's all those kind of traditions, though they're probably disappearing there now. We don't have any of that. So it's all finding things out. That can lead to great relationships. It can lead to terrible arguments, but that's life.
Is it difficult then being in Parliament and now being the outsider? I remember this when I was Conservative, and we had people who defected either to Labour or the Lib Dems in those days. And we felt that they were betraying the family, betraying the tribe, and we felt awkward about being with them and treated them as outsiders. You spent, was it 40 or more years as an MP? So you will have built up real friendships across those years with people who feel you've left.
The real friendships carry on. The real ones carry on, others don't. The first day in after the 24 election was quite funny, actually. I walked in the tea room, it's heaving with newly elected Labour MPs, and they're all very pleased themselves. And I walk in, but there's a deathly silence. They'll look. Then they're all staring at their shoes and things, don't quite know what to do. So I just walk through the crowd.
Done.
And yeah, I mean, it's changed a bit. We're now a year and a half into it, and the government is under the cosh the whole time, from usually problems of its own making. And I talk to quite a lot of Labour MPs and others. You know, the interesting thing I notice is when I go and vote in division lobbies, I mean, it's much harder when you haven't got a party machine, because you have to actually
know what you're voting about.
You have to read every piece of legislation. So I'm sitting there in the library going through the bill and the amendments, and we've got our group of 5 independents, the Independent Alliance. So I'm trying to work out what each amendment means, and then text them and say what I think we should do. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. I go and vote. But as I'm going in to vote, you know how it works. There's a whip for the party that's called the vote on the door. So I go in, and if I'm voting with the Labour Party, because sometimes I do, I go there, I say, just out of interest, what's this vote about? I don't know. Why are you asking for? So I just wondered what it is we're actually voting on at the moment. The Tory always knows. Maybe they just make it. Maybe they've got used to it, and so it is different and interesting. But it is. You have to be on your toes the whole time.
You were leader of the opposition for 5 years.
Yep.
That's an official appointment.
Yep.
A proper salary. I imagine you met the Queen during that time.
Yep. Yep.
What did you make of her? What did she make of you?
Oh, we had a good chat about jam making, good chat about gardens, and I tried to convince her that she should think about no dig.
Oh.
No dig in gardens. She was not convinced, but she was interested.
Good.
And so we had a good chat about all that kind of thing. Yep.
And the morning after you lost, was there a moment during the election where you thought, maybe we could win? I mean, Jeremy Corbyns, and one or two polls thought...
17 election had us coming up on the rails.
Yeah.
And I figured that without the horror of Manchester, which lost us the Manchester bomb, which lost us several days of campaigning, I think we could have done it. And I didn't realise that there were people in the Labour Party that were doing their level best to make sure we didn't win.
Really?
Yes.
It's a bit depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a book coming out next year. You'll enjoy it.
Good. I think I will enjoy it. The day after the last general election, when you knew it was
2019, that was obviously incredibly sad. I'd put everything I could into the campaign, winter election and so on and so on. And I went walking around my constituency the next day, and people were very friendly, very supportive, and said, it's not you. You did your best, and you're still our MP.
Do you?
So it was, yes, of course, but then the Labour Party, the meetings afterwards in the Parliamentary Labour Party were horrendous. It was just, the levels of abuse were unbelievable.
Your wife supportive? Do you cry? Are you somebody who cries?
No, I don't cry.
It's interesting, isn't it?
No, she was very, very supportive, incredibly hardworking and very committed.
And distressed for you? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, basically an election campaign at that level, you're doing 16 to 18 hours a day, and you get then outside your house. You can't go out of your house because you've got all these freelance photographers kicking each other to get a picture and stuff like that. So it's not an easy time.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost at the end. I want you in your head suddenly to say to me, if I say a moment of joy in your life, Jeremy, what comes into your head, particularly from your younger days? A moment of joy.
Oh my goodness, there's
his first pot of jam.
Lots of things I really do enjoy, and historical moments that one can remember. And to me, one of the most joyous moments was watching on television Nelson Mandela coming out of Victor Verster prison.
Wow.
Striding out, proud, undefeated, after years and years and years imprisonment. And then I was invited by the South African government to go and observe their application to the International Court of Justice at The Hague last year. South Africa, having been through apartheid, is now repaying the world for its solidarity. It was amazing.
No, things can change. And
things can change, and they do change.
Who, of all the people you've met, I mean, you won't remember this, but I remember seeing you in the House of Westminster with Gerry Adams,
yeah.
And I wanted to meet him, and you kindly introduced me.
The Irishman,
and you met a range of people, from some people regard as villains, through to people regard as heroes. What's the most memorable encounter for you of an individual?
The best meeting was again probably with Mandela, because when he came out of prison, he then went on a sort of tour around the world, and he went to Cuba, and he went to a lot of places, and then eventually he came to Britain. He didn't choose Britain as the first port of call by any manner of means. So he comes into Parliament and does a meeting in Westminster Hall, in the debating chamber, Westminster Hall, and then he carries on answering questions, and the meeting sort of melts away because MPs have a very short attention span, and they started to melt away. So there was hardly anybody left, and his aides are saying, "Well, Nelson, you can stop now. There's nobody left," and he'll say, "Well, there's still people here who want to ask questions." There was 2 left, me and Tony Benn. So we sat round a table talking, and then Tony
There's a 3
is
for you.
with his usual way with his
Jeremy,
stubby pencil
Tony
writing
Benn and
everything
Nelson
down.
Mandela.
So Mandela sort of
Chin
looks at
wagging.
me and says, What's he doing? Sort of mouths at me. What's he doing? I said, "It's for his diaries." So Tony just carried on.
Kept keeping those diaries.
And those diaries are invaluable because they were his immediate image of everything that he saw. And the other one that was Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez, he came to Britain, invited by Ken Livingstone when he was mayor of London, and so Chavez does a meeting in Camden in the town hall, and we were warned he makes a long speech, so we're all sitting there on the stage behind him, and he's spoken for about 2 hours in Spanish. Now I can understand quite a lot of it, but not everybody. He's, after 2 hours, he stops and says to Ken, who's chairing it, "Ken, I thought meetings in England were usually quite short. Do you want me to stop now?" And Ken uses very ironic London humour. "Well, it's all right, Hugo. I thought you were only about halfway through." So Hugo Chavez carries on for exactly 2 hours more. So we had 4 hours of it. Great. So it was Ken's thing was just great. I'm not sure whether Ken realised he was going to go on or just thought this was sort of, here we go. So anyway, then he comes to Parliament a few days later, and we have an event in the Churchill room for him to speak to MPs we're invited by the Bolivia group, and so I'm hosting this event. So he said, "So what's going on here?" I said, "Well, it's an all-party group of MPs. They're MPs from all, but the speeches have all got to be very short. And I'm sorry to say, can you restrict your remarks to 10 minutes?" And he stared at me. "What did you say?" I said, "Look, I'm really sorry. Can you do it in 10 minutes? Because at that point, the MPs have got to go because of vote or something coming on in the House." And he said, "I don't normally do 10-minute speeches." I said, "We'd heard that, yeah." And then he got up and spoke without any notes. And if you're chairing an event, a speaker without notes always makes you nervous because you have no idea. If they've got notes, you can sort of work out how many sheets are left. So he got up, spoke brilliantly for exactly 10 minutes. And the timing was perfect.
What, he knew what he was doing?
He absolutely knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So I met a lot of, and still meet lots of absolutely fascinating people. But you know what? It's often the people you meet in the poorest and most difficult circumstances that are the most inspiring. You meet around the place, people that have been through hell in their lives and are still doing their best to give it back for other people. Be inspired by others.
What's the saddest moment? A sad moment, not the saddest. A sad moment that comes into your head. Just as I said, a moment of joy, a moment of sadness. Your parents dying?
Well, death of both parents was...
What age were they when they went?
Quite young, 70, 71. My dad died of cancer, and obviously that was devastating. My mum died very suddenly, and I was in Parliament at the time, and the police came and asked me to come, and they told me about it. They'd found her home. She'd had a brain hemorrhage, and that was terrible.
You lost a brother as well?
And my brother, that was absolutely shocking. He lived in Papua New Guinea. He was a mining surveyor, but he didn't really believe in mining. He believed in alluvial mining, which was a bit complicated, but he was a wonderful sort of humanitarian and narco-syndicalist sort of person. Wonderful. He was a very close to him. And I went to see him in Papua New Guinea after I'd been to the referendum in East Timor, and we went round the mountains and things in New Guinea. Wonderful time, and I've always treasured that last time. Then a year later, I get a call at home from somebody to say that Andrew had died, and he was fit, only 4 years older than me, and it turned out he'd had a brain hemorrhage and died. And so that was the most, to me, utterly devastating. You never expect it to a sibling. And then I went to New Guinea for the funeral, and then brought the body back to Australia for his family, because his family lived in Australia. So it was the most sad and traumatic experience in personal life, yeah.
Just one last question, but before I get to it, I'm picturing you at the end of the day, getting into bed and beginning to go to sleep.
Stop it.
And I'm wondering what's happening in your head. Because I know sometimes what's happening in mine. I have fantasies, sometimes.
Fantasies?
Yes, I have daydreams. Sometimes they're to do with the world of entertainment, because I'm in the world of entertainment. Sometimes they're extraordinary people I've met. But that's what's going on in my head. After our really fascinating conversation, I do feel I know you better. And I like you even. I've always liked you, but I like you even more. But I'm intrigued to know what the fantasies are, if you have any, as you're beginning to go to sleep.
I always read before I go to sleep at night. So I was in the library the other day in the Commons, and I love the House of Commons library. It's phenomenal. And so
it's my favourite room in the whole building.
Beautiful.
And the silent room, right, the last room at the end.
That's the one, you got it.
And it's got the novels and things.
Don't go talking about it so much, otherwise it'll get filled up.
Yeah, you're right.
Just keep it. Just keep
the
it.
Best room.
Just keep that a bit quiet. Yeah? It's a beautiful room. Anyway, so in there the other night there was, and what I do when there's a lot of votes on, I select a book and read it at 15-minute intervals. Because if there's one division after another, they take 15 minutes each. So if you vote quickly in the first division and vote late in the second one, that means you've got like 20 minutes. And so during the Rwanda votes, of which there were seemingly hundreds, I read the whole of a book called Kennedy's Wars.
Oh.
I read the whole book.
Wow.
I read very quickly, so I read the whole book. Anyway, so I'm in there the other night, and I noticed, I thought it was a new book. It's actually been out a couple of years, and it's a new book about Cromwell. No, I mean, Cromwell, interesting, hugely interesting historical figure. So I decided to take the book out. This is at 10 o'clock at night. I took it out, and the staff still there. So take the book out, and so I then took that home and started reading that, and so it's quite ridiculous. So you go to bed like midnight, 12:30 or something, end up reading. Sometimes, hang on, it's 2 o'clock. I should be asleep now, because I get fascinated by. So I'm always reading something. I was talking about John Lewis Temple earlier, but I'm reading this.
Constantly learning.
Reading is the thing I love doing, and it's obviously nothing to do with what's happening the rest of my life that day. And then it's understanding history and concepts of things.
So you go to bed and you're thinking of Oliver Cromwell.
Also, it's making me really. I mean, I'm reading the stuff about Cromwell and Ireland.
Oh, my gosh, talk about controversial.
Yeah.
And talk about complicated leadership.
Also, the question of the debate with the Levellers, the stuff at Putney Church debates, but also Burford, and then the forced march, and then what they did in Ireland with the way he falsified the figures of the number of people that had been killed and wrote these insane letters, which was presumably taken by a special messenger back to be read out in Parliament. It was actually just whole-scale murder against the Irish people by Cromwell and his forces.
I know. And we have that statue of him at the Palace of Westminster, that huge statue. I've raised it often.
And we have Cromwell Road, Cromwell Green, Cromwell this, Cromwell that. Hang on a minute. Now, yes, he was the lucky leader of the parliamentary forces. He was not the founder of it. The one we should be venerating is John Lilburne.
Who?
John Lilburne.
Exactly. The fellow we haven't heard of.
The leader of the Levellers.
Okay. This has been levelling up for me.
Levelling a level with you, John Lilburne of the Levellers.
Great. Last question. What have you learnt in life? What's life taught you that you'd share with your children,
Must be
grandchildren? Do you have any grandchildren yet?
Yes.
What's life taught you, Jeremy?
You're always learning, and always have respect for other people, and always carry on learning. Nobody knows everything. Nobody is a total expert on everything. And also, be skeptical and ask awkward questions. Don't accept the status quo. Things can and they will change.
Well done. I'm very glad that I've learnt so much from you today. Jeremy Corbyns, thank you for being with us on Rosebud. And happy May Day.
My pleasure. Viva May Day!
Viva May Day! Yay!
Viva el Primero de Mayo!
Oh, and that as well. Oh, that's the same
What?
thing in Spanish.
Yes.
Viva el Primero de Mayo.
Very
See?
good.
Very good. The revolution begins here.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you did,
I did.
please like and subscribe, because that helps us
I will.
spread the word and more people can watch Rosebud. My favourite.
And anybody else is watching this, if there's anybody else watching this, also go and subscribe to Giles, even though they called him Jazz at the start. But yeah, just close that down a little bit. Right, okay, so that was Jeremy Corbyn going through quite a few things. Some things just general, day to day. Other things like quite interesting. He seems to be one of the most intelligent people on the planet and knows everything about everything, even though he says he doesn't know everything. He's got his marbles. He's truly got more marbles than me. He's probably run further than me, cycle further than me. And your party's coming along. We'll see. But what a man. How can anybody hate him? Still pains me the lies and the smears that went against him. Okay, if you're here, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like, and throw a comment, ask me anything. Who knows what I'm going to be looking at next. Alright, take care. Peace.